I thought he was gonna sit in my lap, but then he plot twisted. He zigged when I thought he was gonna zag. This is StanLeey. My kitty kitty meow meow. Nobody wants to see that, StanLeey. And if they do, they don't need to see it here. That's weird. Anyway, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm an empath. I'm a Hilka Wise Clown. I do daily channels. I channel all the time, and I collect a bunch of data, and then I just report it here on my little tube. Yep, we're hanging in there. My little baby tube. Just tubing along with my little info, just waiting for people to pick it up. It's funny, this morning I was watching an interview with Pink. Her daughter is 7. It said, "Mom, you're..." I was like, all I see is bang. And then when me and StanLeey were doing photo montage with the camera part of this, and we were posing this morning, because he's awful loving. He's been in my lap. I love it. I keep having to get up. He comes back. I had to get up, close the window to do this. He settled back out, and I was like, no, I have to pee. And then he settled back down, so anyway, the interview with Pink, and it's so weird. I was looking at the camera, and all I could hear is Pink, and it's like, all I sense, I'm just all pain. Pew! Anyway, I used to have long hair. I get headaches. My hair is so thick. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, wear it down, it's just everywhere. It makes a mess. I mean, just it's all over the place. I wear it back all the time, and it just makes my head hurt. So it's like, if you don't play with your toy proper, you don't get to keep them. You know what I mean? And I didn't. So I keep it short. It's just easier. Maybe one day I'll grow it out. I know the significance and the importance of it. I really should have it. They're like a part of our antenna. Anyway, about the Pink video. She told a story, and many a truth is said and just. And you see, if you go watch the video, it was on the Ellen interview yesterday. And it's like I don't know, it's a brief few minute story. They're playing a game. And if you hear her tell this story, I hear and feel what the part of the story, on how I interpret it, based on my experience, pretty much read between the lines is what I do. So she tells a story about how the dumbest way she hurt herself, she told a story about how she was slitting the tires of her husband's truck, big dumb truck. I hate big dumb trucks. It's a Ford 250, big stupid freaking tires and lift kit. I'm sure I can totally picture it. But anyway, she got through the first one, got through the second one, and it stopped on the rim, and then her hand kept going, and she ended up having to have 13 stitches, but she didn't need anesthesia. See, what that tells me, she'd been drinking. She didn't need anesthesia because she was drunk. And when people get drunk, alcohol removes your spirit. Blood alcohol count, it literally takes oxygen from your blood. And that's all that we are. Breath in that little spark of electricity. Just like cars need air, spark, exhaust, and fuel, or air, fuel, and spark. I'm on the spot, so I'm not thinking about it right, but so do we. We need passion, spark. We need our spark, which is our heartbeat. We need air, breath. It's alchemy, human alchemy, and when you mess with that, it fucks with the balance, and we ain't assessing rising to our highest potential to see the most capacity to assess how we should move forth in life. It takes our spirit. And I allowed my spirit to go off many a times. I did things I would not normally do. Because it takes me down to a low place. Yeah, a place of self-hate, self-loathing. I never drank a lot because I love myself. No. Just a minute, Mom. I'll be out in a minute. I'll be out in a minute. So, anyway, it removes the spirit. So it tells me that when so what happened is that, and it was on Thanksgiving. Yeah, she said, and you know, holidays are stressful, but and I've seen that story played out 1,000 times. People get different ideas about different realities. They get into different a timeline, a way of thinking, regardless of where the person that they're dealing with is, right? So they can get triggered by an idea, a thought of something that happened years before or the week before, you know, that just is a piece to a puzzle of a storyline that just sets them off, you know. And he's just like thinking about, you know, one thing. Who knows his side story? Who knows hers really? But then she gets an idea of things, and before you know it, they're fighting, and she's slashing. You know, he's freaking. God, I could only imagine how much of those tires cost. I don't even know what the high ends are. I know what the low ends are, but you know, but they're rich, so they can, you know. But what people are having to find out is that stuff isn't working, and they're having to address the things that are causing the emotions and the feelings that make them want to escape their current reality. Yeah. And it's hard for a lot of people. So it's like, you know, it's a funny story, you know, they're engaging and stuff like that, and all I hear is, you know, I used to love that. I used to be drawn to that fire, that passion, but what happens is it harms people. It causes harms. Accidents happen all the time. You know, and I used to be able to, you know, I always had this conscience, but I would try to get away with things that just were freaking shitty, you know? I would talk shit about my friends, you know, to girls they liked. Just do shitty things. I would do things that, you know, I'd be like, I don't know. I just didn't like who I used to be, so to become people that are not, I didn't like who I used to be, and so to escape the reality of how I saw things, I would remove my spirit, and then I would act in a non-spiritual manner. You know, that's me before everyone else. I was very, very selfish, and I didn't care. You know, it wasn't that I didn't drink because, you know, I didn't. It's because I figured people weren't looking anyway. You know what I mean? As long as I can mind my P's and Q's and do what was expected of me, then you know, I just kept the heat off enough. But what happened is I kept living the same day, and it was such a freaking gross, stupid day. It's like on Preacher when it's a show on A&E, that their definition to hell is living their worst experience over and over and over. Yeah, like on a loop. And people are having memories that are coming up because they're being triggered and reminded of things. Because, you know, I mean, it's not often that when I was growing up, I mean, shitty things happened, but it wasn't as prevalent and it wasn't as like in your face, you know what I mean? But where I grew up, there was a lot of like, I don't know, like it was less in your face because it was less in your news, but bad stuff still happened, you know? Like when, but with every bad thing, there's good stuff that happens. We always have the choice to be the light in a dark situation. And so people are being, you know, they're being forced into empathy because with all the extreme weather that's happening all over the planet, you know, people are experiencing things that they hadn't ever experienced. And it's bringing up a lot of what ifs, you know, it's bringing up a lot of imagination, a lot of, you know, it's making people think about a lot of things that they haven't had to consider before. And California's getting a big storm right now, and you know, they're concerned about the mudslides and stuff like that. And my Reading just 6-7 months ago had about, you know, caught on fire, and after that Paradise burnt down. But now, you know, yesterday, day before, they got 10 inches of snow. They've never seen that. It's 1968, maybe. So they're having to experience situations and being put in situations like, well, they can't get to the store, and think about it. Like, and more water mains are breaking because more infrastructure is working. So we're we're not able to rely on, the the good old standby. You can't. More people are not able to go to the top and rely on the water that's coming out of the tap. And it's just really stupid because there's, in the news and media, all you see is millions and billions of dollars that are just being spent on stupid, frivolous shit. And a lot more and more people, you know, are having a harder and harder time getting by, you know. And karmic retribution is coming into play in a big time. It doesn't matter, you know, if something's building the heart space of greed, it ain't gonna succeed. It might prosper for a while, but in the long term, it'll be like a firework, like that Bozos guy. I freaking quit my subscription last year after they raised it. Like, after they charged me automatically without my permission, they re-upped because I ended up having banking fees because I didn't know they did that. And and then they upped it, and I was like, it ain't even worth it. And we should be buying local anyway. Yeah, we should be. Yeah, bring the spirit of community back. So I'm glad that things aren't working out for that guy. Anyway, what else happened? So it was the pink story. Um, oh, no, I think that's all I got for today. I'm gonna do my meditate state. Try and do an hour. I tried so hard yesterday. I no, I did. No, I got like 55 minutes. The energy here is weird. Part of my uh, I don't know, reason for being is I help people pass. And the old woman across the street passed last night. I wasn't there at the house, but I mean yesterday, but I was in close proximity, and I knew that when it's like, I know when nature shows up in a wild way, and when it shows up in a really wild way, I know that there's a shift. So that told me that she passed, and she did, but she wanted to. When the spirit gives up, you can act like you want to live and you're living your best effort. But between you and yourself, when you give up in life and you just don't want to do it anymore, you're already on your way out. And I don't want to see that happen to people. So, live your fullest, how you want to do it, not how other people tell you you ought to do it. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.